is the 77 WABC minicast.
So here we are, the Friday before Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco. Been watching the coverage all week. It's not a game that blows me away in terms of excitement. I know Sam Darnold is a great story here with the Jets, 3 or 4 years out of USC, thrown to the scrap heap, and now, of course, is in a Super Bowl before Josh Allen. Who would have predicted that? Great story, I get it. Drake May, second season, maybe he's the next Brady, maybe Vrabel May is the next Belichick Brady. But to be honest, this game is not doing it for me, and even less than that is the halftime show. We saw this moron Bad Bunny at the Grammys start his acceptance speech with Ice Out. Would have been the worst speech of the night if not for Billie Eilish. But either way, they're both morons. So Turning Point USA decides we're going to counter. Okay, great. Erica Kirk, the whole crew, you know. And they counter with Kid Rock, and, I mean, that's so over already. I'm begging you. And 3 country music stars that only Brian Kilmeade has heard of. Not Jason Aldean, not Luke Bryan, not even Nicki Minaj, who loves President Trump. Now, yes, if you're a diehard country music fan, you may love Lee Brice, whoever that is, okay? But they lost me. They had a golden opportunity, and the more people I speak to, the more people say, yeah, come on. We need more star power than that. Now, Kilmeade, who does a tremendous job after me every weekday morning here on WABC, part of that Fox and Friends crew, and the best show on cable, his show, I'll be on this Sunday night, 10 o'clock on Fox News. He loves the show, but he's a diehard country music fan. And they need to appeal to more than that. So, Brian, I know you disagree, but I'm telling you, Turning Point blew a golden opportunity.
I don't think so. I didn't expect, Jason Aldean is great, but Jason Aldean could not be more in Turning Point's corner. I just think that he doesn't want to deal with any controversy of taking on the NFL at this point. But Lee Brice got a great song about what's going on in the world right now. He is fantastic. In fact, I saw him in Westbury Music Fair, and he sold out 3 straight nights. So, it's not easy to sell that place out. And this guy has got, I think, 7 number ones. So Kid Rock, I think, is great. I think he's loved, especially by this generation of Trump supporters and younger supporters. So I think it's going to be a really solid show. But I didn't expect it to rival. I didn't expect him to get Bruno Mars or somebody that would be also eligible for the halftime show. This is a organization, mostly a foundation, nonprofit, that's putting together an alternative for people who I believe are going to hear a Puerto Rican singer make statements against America and ICE. And I think people just say, give me something besides turning the sound down. So I salute Turning Point for getting more attention to it.
Funny, I'm good friends with a guy named Jason Whitlock. We started together in sports 25 years ago. I was in Fort Lauderdale. He was in Kansas City coming out of Indiana. He hosts a very popular podcast called Fearless. I know you know who he is, but he was on this week. And above and beyond the anti-ICE comments and the fact that Bad Bunny and Green Day both hate Trump, he's a Christian. He's a devout Christian. And he's very angry that there's a gay performer at halftime, and not just gay, but this guy, Bad Bunny, is supposedly going to wear a dress, and he's really going to shove his whole lifestyle down the throat of Americans, and even folks that don't care like me. I don't care if you're gay. God bless you. Be happy. I just want folks to be happy. But there are people that are traditionalists, that are Christians, that are very unhappy about that, too. What are your thoughts on that?
I didn't even know he was gay. Bad Bunny's gay?
Very.
I didn't. I'm the last one to know. I mean, look, I don't want to get into Christianity, what's going to fly, same-sex marriage. That's for a debate for another time. My point is, Jay-Z does this. They ask him to go book these acts. Last year, I'm hearing about all these gang and rap rivalries. Who cares? And, of course, I was actually at the game, and I thought that I just can't get into that music. I respect people, how they came up, whatever. That's your music. I just don't. I thought your goal should be to get a brand of music that the most people in America can relate to, and maybe in that act you provide all of it, perhaps. Maybe you have Little Country, maybe you have Beyonce, maybe you have this. You could get it. After all, there's no bigger event in the world outside the World Cup, and because the World Cup goes over the course of weeks. So there's no bigger event. You could probably do a wide swath. I think the best halftime ever was Bruno Mars. I'm not even a Bruno Mars fan, never downloaded one of his songs, but you realize how many songs were great, had the whole stadium going crazy. And I think I don't know who the president was at the time, but I thought there was nobody critical. They said, that was upbeat, that was good, that was generic enough, and everyone recognized the songs. I think that's what you do at halftime. The last thing we want is to bring back a more talking about how bad the country is again. Remember, kneeling, not doing the national anthem, the other national anthem that I think they're going to play again for different communities. The NFL got past it. Whatever you think about Kaepernick and how they handled it, let's put that in a rearview mirror. The last thing I want to hear is something anti-ICE tomorrow on Sunday. To me, it would be great if he just did whatever he did, whatever he does. And don't tell me who you're dating. Don't tell me what you think about immigration enforcement. Just sing. Because especially at halftime, you want to do a sit-down? Go sit down with Sid Rosenberg and do a half hour? Go ahead. Then tell me everything you think about society. Should Puerto Rico be a state? Whatever you want. But if you're going to go out there at halftime and you got all these downloads and you're that popular, just do what got you popular.
Can't argue with that. I'm a little surprised President Trump is going. I mean, I know he loves these big events. He goes to every Super Bowl, but he was really angry when Jay-Z announced Bad Bunny and Green Day. Again, they're both so critical of Trump in America. They hate him. But he can't miss a big event. That's the bottom line. By the way, his wife, the beautiful Melania Trump, will be on this show with me this morning coming up at 8:30. Melania Trump right here. So let's get to the game. Brian, you're a great, great sports guy, and the Seahawks are a 4.5-point favorite. Most people I speak to think this is a field goal game. They like the Patriots, maybe even the under, but they like the Patriots plus the points. But they do think that Sam Darnold, the former Jet draft choice, will win the Super Bowl. What does Brian Kilmeade think?
I'm curious. This is a game that I look at. Neither team reminds me of Super Bowl champions. Like they hadn't really distinguished themselves throughout the year. Their record's impressive, but I look at these guys as somebody like these are two emerging teams.
Right. I mean, there's no Tom Brady. There's no Jalen Hurts. There's no Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I mean, you could say I don't know if you feel this way, but I felt like San Francisco and the Cincinnati Bengals with Boomer and Joe Montana were emerging teams, and they get to the Super Bowl and they put together an unbelievable game that looked like it was going Cincinnati's way.
Right. The only difference is, don't forget, Montana had already won one. People forget that he won one without Jerry Rice and Roger Craig and without Bill Walsh. He beat the Cincinnati Bengals. That was not Boomer. That was Ken Anderson with guys like Dwight Clark, Freddie Solomon, and Bill Ring. So Montana had already won one by the time he beat Esiason and the Bengals. But you're right. They were both kind of up and coming and a lot more work to do.
But it could be a great game. I want to see. I don't think Drake May is going to shrink, but at 23 years old, you never know. And then, Darnold, two things. He'll make a mistake, but the guy has shown me he's got unbelievable resilience. So even if he comes out and throws 2 picks, the guy's going to go, okay, after everything I've been through, you really think I'm going to get down here? And he's got a team that thoroughly believes in him. We know how he faltered badly with the Vikings at the end of the year last year. 2 chances to win, and they lose, and then they exit quickly out of the playoffs, and the Vikings go, I think you reached your peak, and we'll go with J.J. McCarthy. Obviously, that doesn't look like a good move right now. But I think this is the beginning for both teams. I think they're going to be back and better next year, and it gives me hope for our local teams. You can maybe reverse it and go through. But I think Seattle's a better team, and I think Seattle wins. I've become, as much as I know New York fans hate this, I've become a Bob Kraft fan. And I think the Patriots went from, oh, my goodness, why are they there again, to, you know what? I'm happy for this guy. I'm happy for Vrabel. I'm happy they came all the way back the way they did. No one gave them the short course. They signed a lot of people, but not high-profile names. One, Stephon Diggs, and then they get this great draft pick. They thought they had it in Mac Jones. They didn't, but they went back and got it right eventually. So I love the Bob Kraft story. You know what it does? It puts pressure on Belichick. So now clearly Brady can win without him. Kraft now can get you there without him. But the guy that proved he can't get there without Brady and Kraft is Belichick, who I liked Rex Ryan's idea. Belichick should have been hired as a Buffalo Bills coach. And then you talk about an intriguing game, 2 games next year. It'd be amazing.